hypersonic missiles something that sounds incredibly high-end. They're said to be carrier killers, with penetration capabilities second only to ICBMs for ground strikes. Theoretically, such things should be extremely expensive. On November 25, 2025, a Chinese private company called Lingkong Tianxing released a promotional video for its new product, claiming it had invented a hypersonic missile named Yukong-Ji 1000. It has a range of 500 to 1,300 kilometers, a speed of Mach 5 to 7,360 seconds of powered cruise time, terminal guidance, and meter-level accuracy. The craziest part, the manufacturing cost is compressed to 700,000 RMB. In USD, around $100,000 per missile. As for the launch conditions, just get a random container truck, stand the missile upright, and launch. In the company's demo video, this missile is clearly designed to strike carrier groups, flying around to attack from behind and accurately hitting a pre-drawn red circle target. Hypersonic missiles are originally designed to kill carriers, so it's not surprising this one is too. What is surprising is how the cost could possibly be only 700,000 RMB. According to available info, the Yukong-Ji 1000 uses a complex multifaceted waverider aerodynamic shape, a gliding-type warhead, several long straight-type fins around the body to trap airflow, and a rocket engine attitude control micro-nozzle system with some terminal acceleration ability. These designs are unique but not the reason the missile exploded in popularity, because they are not what makes it cheap. Hypersonic missiles exceed the sound barrier by a huge margin, causing massive friction heating high enough to melt the airframe. So a heat-resistant protective layer is essential. Typically, that means carbon-carbon composites, ceramic matrix composites, or ablative coatings extremely reliable but extremely expensive, low yield, and strategic grade. The Yukong-Ji 1000 instead uses foamed cement as its thermal protection layer. It can survive 10 degrees Celsius aerodynamic heating while keeping the structure intact. Foamed cement is a civilian material ridiculously cheap and lighter than water. Then they simply coat it with white paint. No stealth coating needed. The foam cement itself naturally absorbs radar waves. Then they downgraded aerospace-grade cables to automotive-grade cables. For the terminal guidance camera, no aerospace camera, just a camera bought on Taobao. Even screws were downgraded. Aerospace screws cost 5 RMB each. They replaced them with 0.3 RMB industrial screws, saving about 70,000 RMB per missile. More than 90% of the missile's components are industrial-grade standard parts, not aerospace-grade. That means rare, expensive components are replaced by cheap, mass-produced civilian ones, reducing cost to roughly 1/15 that of traditional hypersonic missiles. The 700,000 RMB does not include the warhead, but even just the airframe cost is insane. Taobao camera, automotive wiring, foamed cement, put all that together, and voila, you get a hypersonic missile. So the company's real core tech is figuring out how to assemble these cheap industrial parts in a way that the missile still works, can actually launch, and can actually hit a target. You can't just randomly swap 90% of a missile's components. The fact that the missile didn't explode on the launch pad is already impressive. As for performance, I'm confident it can't compare to military-issue hypersonic missiles. Military designs are expensive because their performance requirements are extremely harsh. The promotional video has generated lots of skepticism. For example, the claimed meter-level accuracy. People argue that the video does not show the attack distance. It might not be a 1,000-kilometer shot, but none of that has stopped the missile from going viral. For something this cheap, forget accuracy, even safety and reliability deserve skepticism. No way it matches real military missiles. But it's cheap, only 700,000 RMB. Even if its accuracy at 1,000 kilometers is not within 1 meter but 10 meters, so what? Even if 1 out of 10 missiles explodes mid-air, so what? Range and speed are factual. Over 1,000 kilometers and Mach 5 to 7, what more do you want? As long as it can fly, it's a treasure. Even if it can't actually hit a carrier, as long as it rushes toward the carrier group at Mach 5 to 7, you bet the enemy will try to intercept it. U.S. SM-3 interceptors cost $18 to $24 million each. Tate costs $9 to $12 million. Even the cheapest Pac-3 is $4 to $6 million. To reliably intercept one hypersonic missile, the US needs 4 to 6 interceptors. And not all can be the cheap Pac-3. Russian interceptors are not cheap either. The S-500 interceptor costs $12 million per missile. Now imagine playing an exchange game with a $100,000 Yukong-Ji 1000. Even as a decoy, it's insanely cost-effective. And this thing can actually fly at Mach 5 to 7, actually hit a target over 1,000 kilometers away, and actually use terminal guidance. If you intercept it, great. It was a decoy. If you don't intercept it, might blow up your carrier. Launch 9 of these at once, mix in one real YJ-21 hypersonic anti-ship missile. Your radar won't be able to tell them apart. Same speed, same return signal. A 1,000 km range conveniently covers Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. At 700,000 RMB, it's basically priced like a large rocket artillery round. You can literally fire hypersonic missiles like rockets. A streamer says thanks for the hypersonic missile gift. Then the missile launches toward Tokyo. That would be hilarious. At 700,000 RMB per shot, it's not even a loss to blow up a dormitory. It costs more than the missile. With these cheap missiles overwhelming Japan, Korea, Taiwan's land-based missile defenses, you could strike anything afterward. None of their weapons could show themselves. Air and sea superiority would be completely lost. Iran needs a national effort missile rain. China could do it daily, even hourly. The Yukong-Ji 1000 went viral not because of performance, but because of price. Everyone knows something this cheap can't perform well, but it really flies. As long as it flies at Mach 5, it's a divine artifact. And it actually hits targets. This demonic cult missile exists because Lingkong Tianxing is poor. So poor they had no choice but to cut costs everywhere. Founded in 2013, despite being private, the company mostly works for state-owned enterprises and universities, providing customized flight platforms for new aerospace tests, basically being the support crew for the national team. Enough revenue to survive, but not to make real money. In 2024, Lingkong Tianxing completed its Series C funding, raising registered capital to 35.34 million RMB. Meanwhile, a single U.S. SM-3 interceptor costs 1.3 to 1.7 billion RMB. Selling the entire company wouldn't buy even one SM-3. In 2024, they successfully test-ran a supersonic aircraft engine. But the supersonic aircraft path takes too long, and their money would run out before completion. Yet without a breakthrough, the company had no future. So they pivoted, modify the engine, swap the aircraft shell for a missile shell, make everything else as cheap as possible, tune it again. Performance only needs to be acceptable. Extreme low-cost priority resulted in a 700,000 RMB hypersonic missile with 1,000 km range and Mach 5 capability. Not bad on paper. This design philosophy isn't unique. Many Chaobao PDD products follow the same idea. Beat everyone on price. Performance only needs to be okay. But applying this philosophy to hypersonic missiles leads to some very strange creations. Yes, it's cheap, but too cheap. If this thing were priced at 20 million RMB per missile, we'd call it garbage. But at 700,000, it's basically like filling up a car with fuel and throwing it like a projectile. At this price, as long as it doesn't explode on the launcher. If it flies hypersonically for even a bit, hell, even if it explodes mid-air, it's already impressive. Load it with expired explosives from military warehouses and it becomes even more cost-effective. That this company built such a missile and even featured a Japan map in the promo video clearly chasing orders. This is a company driven insane by poverty. But poverty brings innovation. If they weren't this poor, they wouldn't have created such a budget monster. Once this idea spreads, drones and robot dogs won't matter. Future warfare may use tens of thousands or millions of such cheap hypersonic missiles. A hypersonic missile rain. Such missile rain is impossible to defend. The only semi-effective defense is actually rapid set concrete, build enough bunkers and survive. Cheap fights cheap, both sides bombard each other until one side collapses. So the future of world warfare may not be robot versus robot, nor drone versus robot dog, but foam cement versus quickset cement. Civil engineering concrete guys probably never expected that the world's future could be decided by the cement they use every day.